I'm going with Houston to pull off the upset. Houston's been, the defense obviously is great, and I think will give this Buffalo offense with, a lot of guys out, some tough possessions. Like they'll be able to get after Josh Allen and make him make mistakes. And I think this offense can do enough against the Bills defense that has been subject to not the greatest play the past couple of weeks. Like they've been prone to playing bad. And I think Houston can get the upper hand and pull off an upset to keep their playoff hopes alive and kind of damage Buffalo's hopes of making it to the AFC East or winning the AFC East. Guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all having a great day. And with no further ado, let's get into the week 12 picks, which it's crazy to say we're on week 12, but the season goes by pretty fast. So let's get into it. Starting off with tonight's game, Bills at the Texans. It was revealed yesterday that McCole Hardman, Curtis Samuel, and Dalton Kincaid all are out for tonight's game. CJ Stroud is also out. Um, so monitoring, those injuries. I'm going with Houston to pull off the upset. Houston's been, the defense obviously is great, and I think will give this Buffalo offense with, a lot of guys out, some tough possessions. Like they'll be able to get after Josh Allen and make him make mistakes. And I think this offense can do enough against the Bills defense that has been subject to not the greatest play the past couple of weeks. Like they've been prone to playing bad. And I think Houston can get the upper hand and pull off an upset to keep their playoff hopes alive and kind of damage Buffalo's hopes of making it to the AFC East or winning the AFC East, not making it. Moving on to the Sunday games, Steelers at Bears. No determinant on whether Aaron Rodgers will play. Looks like it'll be determined tomorrow on Friday whether he will play or won't. But either way, if it's Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers, I think the Bears get the win. Chicago, I mean, they have been winning close games and it's not going to be sustainable, but like they're winning games that like other regimes in Chicago wouldn't have won. Like Ben Johnson is changing the culture in Chicago, and I think against the Pittsburgh defense that is prone to giving up big plays in the passing game and has not been very good when the offense is good. I think they can play well, and I think if Chicago is able to shut down this Pittsburgh running game, make them have to pass to somebody other than DK Metcalf, which they can do, I think they get the win, and they're 8-3, which is crazy to say for the first year. And but moving on to an NFC North clash, Minnesota and Green Bay. The Packers, I mean, have been very inconsistent this year. One week they look like they're going to be a Super Bowl contender for years to come. Other weeks they look like they can barely beat some of the worst teams in the league, like they did against the Giants. Minnesota has very much QB questions because the last couple of weeks, J.D. McCarthy has not looked very good. And I think it's just the matter that Green Bay has the better defense. So I'm going to trust the Packers. I mean, Green Bay has the better offense. Both teams have good defenses. Green Bay has the better offense. And I think at home, even if Josh Jacobs doesn't play, I think this Packers defense gets the win. Moving on to Seattle at Tennessee. Seattle coming off that hard loss to the Rams where they almost did win the game. It was close, but a missed field goal at the end. I'm going to say Seattle bounces back against the Titans team that now without Calvin Ridley, the team is just not very good outside of Jeffrey Simmons, Cam Ward, and maybe a couple other players. And Seattle, who competing, in a very tough NFC West, I think, get the win and move to 8-3. Moving on to Colts at the Chiefs. Indy coming off the bye after that huge win in Germany before their bye. They got a Chiefs team that has very much struggled. You know, I mean, Mahomes has never lost three straight, but he could be on the verge. But I'm trusting Mahomes and this Chiefs team to get the win. I think, kind of like earlier in the year when they were going up against a really good team like the Lions. They had lost a couple. Everybody's like, oh, are the Chiefs not going to be good? And then they bounce back with the win. I think this Chiefs team gets a huge win to keep their playoff hopes alive. And yeah, moving on, New England at Cincinnati. The Bengals have been a dumpster fire. I mean, at one point we're 3-4 and looked like, hey, maybe they could be um moving up, but you lose back to back. Then they lost to the Steelers last week. It has been a tough sliding. I've been saying that Joe Burrow probably shouldn't come back and should just wait until next year. And I think the Pats win this one. They've been looking great, and they move to 10-2 and get an even bigger lead if Buffalo were to lose. Moving on, Jets at the Ravens. It was revealed Tyrod Taylor will be the foreseeable starter in New York. Justin Fields has been benched. Taking on a Ravens team that didn't look the greatest on offense, but the defense has really picked it up. And I think against a bad Jets offense, the Ravens defense, just like they did to Cleveland, is going to make enough plays in this offense. Will just be good enough, and they'll win the game and be 6-5 and first place in the AFC North if Pittsburgh were to lose. Moving on, Giants at the Lions. Unsure if Jackson Dart will clear concussion protocol and be back for this game, or if it's Jameis Winston. Either QB, I don't really see outcome changing, but it is an injury to monitor. I'm going with Detroit to get back to the winning streak against a Giants defense that is not very good. Detroit gets back in the winning column, and yeah, they move to 7-4 and keep pace with a very, very competitive NFC North. Moving on to the 4 o'clock slate, Cleveland at Vegas. Shador, first start of the year. We'll see how he does with a full week of practice with the starters and if that helps him out and if he looks really good. And I'm actually going to take Cleveland. I mean, this is a game between two very bad teams, but I'm just not sold on this Vegas team. This Vegas offense hasn't been good. They're going up against a really good Cleveland defense. And I think against a Vegas defense that is not the greatest, I think Shador maybe can make a few plays and get the Browns to their third win. Yeah. Moving on, Jags at the Cardinals. Arizona, it has been a lost year. I mean, they started off 2-0, and I think maybe a lot of people thought, hey, maybe this team, if they just get consistently playing on offense, they could be a for real deal, but it just hasn't worked out. And this Jags team, well, I don't trust them a lot against a Cardinals team that is not very good. They just got blown out by a banged up Niners team. I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence and this Jags team to move to 7-4. And if the Colts were to lose, they'd be right back in the AFC South race. Moving on to an NFC South game, Falcons at Saints. Michael Penix will not play the rest of the year. He's having season-ending knee surgery. So it'll be Kirk Cousins against Tyler Shuck and the Saints. And I'm actually going to pick New Orleans. Yeah, I could see Atlanta maybe coming out inspired, but this team has not been very good. The offensive play calling has been not the greatest outside of like a couple weeks. And I think the Saints team, which is playing inspired under Kellen Moore, I think Tyler Shuck could have another really good game against the Falcons defense, which is supposed to be really good, but has not played the best. And I think New Orleans can get their third win. It would be back-to-back wins since they beat Carolina off the bye, before their bye. Moving on to a NFC East clash, Philly at Dallas. The Eagles offense, major question marks. We'll see how they play against a Dallas defense that has not been the greatest, but maybe getting healthier, bringing in Quentin Williams and Logan Wilson helped them out. This is a big game for Philly's defense against a very talented, because like the last couple of weeks against Green Bay and Detroit, it's like Green Bay's offense very inconsistent. And Detroit, it was the second game under Dan Campbell as the OC. This is a very, very talented Dallas offense that has been playing very, very well. If Philly's defense can hold them to, single digits or like less than 20 points, this could be a for real team. But if this game is close and Dallas is putting up points, it might show that Philly, they just are not the great this year. I'm going to pick the Eagles to win this game. No Lane Johnson, so that could be a huge factor, but I'm trusting the Eagles to play inspired and get the win. Moving on to Bucks at the Rams. Sunday Night Football. Tampa back-to-back losses to AFC East teams in the Pats and Bills. Now taking on a red-hot Rams team that has looked amazing. The defense is one of the best in the league. And I think LA continues to get these wins. And I just don't really trust Tampa. The offense we saw can do amazing things, but that defense is just not the greatest. And against a very, very talented LA offense, I just trust the better team and the more complete team in the Rams to get it done. And then finally, Monday Night Football, Panthers at the Niners. San Fran still alive in the playoff hunt. Now, are they for real contenders? No, but they can still make some noise. Taking on a Panthers team that, one of those very weird, inconsistent teams where some weeks they look great, some weeks they look bad. I'm going to take the Niners at home in Santa Clara to get their 8th win. And yeah, those are my picks. Let's recap. I have the Texans over the Bills, the Bears over the Steelers, Packers over the Vikings, Seahawks over the Titans, Chiefs over the Colts, Pats over the Bengals, Ravens over the Jets, Lions over the Giants, Browns over the Raiders, Jags over the Cardinals, Saints over the Falcons, Eagles over the Cowboys, Rams over the Bucks, and the Niners over the Panthers. Hope you guys have a great day. Hope you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. And I will catch you guys next week where I'll have my mock draft 2.0 coming out. Now that we're going to be 2/3 of the way through the NFL season. But until then, hope you guys have a great day and bye.